And hello everybody. I am Quiana Clark Rowland, Executive Director for AACT. Thank you for joining us for today's Industry Connections with Spot On Entertainment. They are here today as well as Theater Marketing Academy and the network to talk about their new musical, Roar the Musical. It is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity and project and package that is going to enable you to work with your young performers and put on a fantastic performance. So they're here today to tell you a little bit more about that, as well as for those that are AACT members, a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to be able to take part in this project and have a lot of savings in order to do it. So today we have with us Julie Nemitz. She is the founder of Theater Marketing Academy. And then we have Scott Coulter. He is the founder for Spot On Entertainment, and Chris Blinn from the network. And so they're going to talk a little bit about that. Feel free to, if you have any questions, to put them in the Q&A, and that is at the bottom menu down at your Zoom screen. For those that are on Facebook Live, just shoot your questions in the chat. We've got folks watching it, so we'll be able to respond and answer you there. And Julie or Scott, whoever would like to start first, we'll get rolling.
Super. Thanks so much. Thanks, Quiana. Darlene, Jill, thank you so much for having us. We're really excited about this session, and we've got lots to cover. So I thought we could just go ahead and begin. I'm going to start with some really quick introductions. Quiana already gave you a little bit about who I am. My face may be familiar to some of you. I run the Theater Marketing Academy, which is a part of my company called Creatives Going Digital. And what I do day in and day out is I help creative artists and theater organizations learn to make, market, and monetize content online and on the stage. And I'm so happy that I get to put those last three words on the stage, because I do believe that we're coming into a whole new age of theater where we will be finding digital and live performances living side by side in theaters that are ready to innovate. So I'm thrilled to be here. Like I said, this is a special session for me because I'm able to be on the screen with one of my dearest friends, Scott Coulter. Scott and I met when we were teenage performers looking towards what our careers and our life might be like. And we actually met in a community theater. So a couple decades later, we find ourselves back to working together, and I could not be more thrilled to have Scott go ahead and introduce himself.
Hi, thanks, Julie. My name's Scott Coulter, and I'm the owner and founder of Spot On Entertainment, which is a concert production company based here in New York City. And we create shows for performing arts centers and symphony orchestras around the world. And in my career, I've done a lot of work with Broadway composers, most notably Stephen Schwartz, but also for the ASCAP Foundation and for legendary composer Jerry Herman. I created the Broadway Legacy series, which involves symphony orchestras bringing Broadway stars to town, and they perform alongside college kids from the area. And it's a life-changing experience for those young performers. And so that is the aspect of this particular project we're talking about today that appeals to me the most. This is another life-changing experience for young artists. And I'm thrilled that we're doing this. And I'm thrilled to introduce to you Chris Blinn from the network.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Blinn, and I'm the co-founder of a company called The Network, or Find the Network on the Instagram. The Network is a creative consulting firm that specializes in curating and developing the perspective of both the artist and the arts organization. So we work with young budding artists all the way up to Broadway stars, regional theaters, and major orchestras. I'm really excited to be a part of this tool because at the DNA of my company is lending our skills to elevate the voices of those that could benefit from the sense of community. This project really speaks to me because I know my journey as an artist and as a creative stems from working in community theater and stems from my time working with adults like you who gave back to me in the way that you have. So we have created a project that really, I I hope provides the tools to you to continue to do what you already do so wonderfully. So thanks for coming.
Thanks, Chris. All right, let's get started. Let's go ahead and get started here. We'll get there. Okay, why we're here today. We're creating up to 50 unique productions of Roar the Musical, starring high school theater all-stars from your city, county, or state. And your theater is invited to join in on this project, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Scott's going to tell you a little bit about how it began, where this idea came from.
Right. So I grew up in a small town outside of Nashville, Tennessee, and I was a theater kid. And it always bothered me that the high school theater kids around my community didn't really know each other. The high schools didn't really mix and mingle, unlike the football team, the sports teams that play each other in the counties and the districts and sort of know each other. The theater kids were sort of isolated. So it's long been a goal of mine to create a national high school musical. And so we've been working on this for quite a while, but this has been a very difficult year, as you know. It's been a very challenging year in every respect, and this pandemic has brought so much loss. And while we all feel it, I think it's hit high school kids especially hard. They've had their worlds turned completely upside down. They've lost loved ones. They've lost the opportunity to connect with their peers. They've lost the structure of a regular schedule. They've lost the ability to perform in chorus and band and theater. And they're suffering from anxiety and isolation at a really critical point in their development. And so how do we help them through that? How do we all help lift them up? And that is what Spot On Presents the Musical was created to address. The goal is to reach out to those kids, those all-star talents in your community, and literally lift them up and give them a chance to share their unique and diverse voices in a way that makes them feel both seen and appreciated. And these kids, it feels weird for me to call them kids because actually they are the current theater makers. They are kids, but they are the ones that are actually creating theater content. They're doing it online through things like TikTok and Ratatouille and Bridgerton the Musical and all the incredibly creative videos that they're putting together. And that's great. I mean, it's amazing. It's really fantastic. But we as theater people need them to come create theater moments in our actual theaters. Because while they are young theater makers, they are future theater artists. And most importantly, maybe most importantly, they are future theater patrons. And we really need them in order for us to have a future as a theater, as a theatrical society. So the idea was to create a national high school musical that was going to be open to all high school performers in any given community. So the goal is to build a community within your community, but also build a national theater community, which currently does not exist. And this is a way for us all to be together as one, celebrating the same thing. And that's the goal of the musical, to bring us all together, because that is what music does. So when looking for a theme for this very first outing of the musical, it sort of hit me upside the head, like, duh, we're actually living it. Imagine this. The world is gripped by a global pandemic. Everyone is wearing masks in public for over a year. Daily life is at a standstill. There's uncertainty everywhere you turn. And this actually happened. It happened 100 years ago. And when it was over, the entire world celebrated for an entire decade. Now, we seem to have forgotten that we aren't the first people to go through a global pandemic. And the thing to both remember and to celebrate is that when it was over, the arts flourished. They flourished in a way they never had before. And that's what the Roaring 20s were all about. It was a decade that included the first live radio broadcast and the birth of mass popular culture. It gave us the Gershwins and Irving Berlin. It brought about the Jazz Age and the Harlem Renaissance and the Great Migration. And music was changing and the arts were changing and the whole world was changing. And here we are once again in the exact same situation, on the precipice of global change and celebration. So if there's if there's one thing that I'm known for in my career, it's for creating and presenting these musical events around the country that take a theme and take songs and blend them together to create a cohesive, emotional evening with an uplifting arc. And so this particular moment in time allows for a very unique opportunity to mark this historic moment by honoring the same moment from 100 years ago, and to do so in an emotional and life-affirming way. So Roar the Musical will do just that. The tagline of the musical is a theatrical event 100 years in the making, which is absolutely true, because the musical will feature the songs of yesterday combined with the sounds of today. So we've taken about 24 songs from the Great American Songbook, and we've reimagined them, we've rearranged them so that they're going to be performed in the style of the artists of today. Like it'll sound like Bruno Mars or Elton John or Billie Eilish or Adele or John Legend. And we've reimagined these songs, and we're going to offer them to you. And just like the artists came together to celebrate in 1920, we're all going to come together in 2021 as artists to celebrate this particular moment. We're going to create a musical event with your local stars, who are the stars of tomorrow, working alongside the current stars of today. There's going to be a Broadway star hosting each edition of this musical. So your high school kids get to perform right alongside their heroes, which I mean, come on, that's amazing. When I was in high school, that would have been such a great gift. It is a great gift. And you get to give it to your high school community. So really, that's the joy of this whole thing. And it can happen in basically just in 6 steps. And Julie is going to tell you exactly how that goes.
Awesome. Thanks, Scott. So here's how it works. We are going to be presenting an opportunity, like Scott said, it combines several things. One, it combines your theater's directorial leadership, your community's most talented teen all-stars, our expertise in digital theater and online theater content development. If there's one thing that we've all learned in the past year is how to do this really well. We've been doing it a lot. Our post-production and digital marketing expertise. And so what this project does is it's giving you the opportunity to not have to worry about all that back-end post-production work that tends to find theaters overwhelmed. Where do I find a top-notch editor? How do I put a show together that makes sense when it's broadcast and not on my stage? How does all that work to make it a professional production? And that's what we also bring to this project. And so all of this is done in a done for you and done with you production model. What does that mean? That means that some of the components we do for you, and some of the components we do with you. Number one is a community building, where the participating theaters will be attending live workshops and events that build that virtual community that kids understand and the theaters can be a part of. There is a project kickoff virtual workshop where we all get together on a kickoff call and we go through every element of the project. There's a production Q&A and marketing strategy workshop where we provide information and helpful instruction to make sure that you are producing the show that you want to produce. We're going to do a virtual cast meet and greet. So all the kids can join. Yes, all of the kids can come together on Zoom, and we are going to have Broadway stars popping in, Broadway composers, Broadway arrangers, all coming in to give the kids the inspiration and the support that they so want right now. We're going to have a virtual closing night cast party, of course, at the end of our event, which is really exciting. Number two, production development. This is probably where all of your heads are right now. Okay, well, what is this thing and how does it work? You get to create your own unique Roar the Musical. There aren't a lot of steps involved for the theaters. One, recruit kids from your local, county, or state high schools. We've had questions on both those. Can they be from my local city? Can they be from my county? Can I do a statewide event? And yes to all of those. You're going to hold auditions, and we recommend that you cast up to 14 teen all-stars for your Roar the Musical production. You're going to work with Scott Coulter to select from 22 prearranged songs curated from the Great American Songbook of the 1920s, and like Scott explained, modernized for today's artists. So that's what's so magical about this. We have a catalog ready to offer you of 22 fully arranged, fully produced tracks, and you get to pick what songs work best for the kids. You get to rehearse your cast with the performance tracks provided to you, and that also includes an opening and a closing song arrangement. Then you bring the kids safely into your theater space, whatever that means for your state and your local guidelines. You can bring your kids in safely to film them on your theater stage. So they get that experience of walking into your building and safely recording their song that they will be singing. Then the last step is that you take all that footage that you've created unedited and you upload it to us, and we take it from there. We also support your marketing strategy and assets. We help you spread the word. We provide you a marketing roadmap you can follow to promote your production to your audiences and community. We provide you marketing materials customized for your theater. You don't have to take things and try to figure out how to make them work for your community. We do that for you. On a parallel path, the Project Roar team is managing all the national marketing, the public relations, and promotions. We have an amazing team of PR experts in New York City that are ready to support this project, and we couldn't be more lucky to have them on board. From here, Chris is going to take it.
Alrighty, here's where things really start to take off and we really start to grow our audience. I have to read this from the slide that's coming next. This is number 4, post-production, done for you services. So firstly, we have our team of professional editors create a 75-minute production of Roar the Musical. So that's what you filmed, we're now editing. The Broadway stars are integrated into your production. So that's at the front end and interlaced throughout that production. You get to receive a revision phase where we come together, we work through any last minute notes before we send that off for final edits. And then your production is rendered and we turn your files over to, drumroll, Broadway On Demand. That's really the exciting part here because now we've expanded our reach so our family members across the country can now watch. Number 5, the live stream event. This is party time, Broadway On Demand. We live stream June 17th through 26th. A landing page is going to be created with our branding assets exclusively for Roar the Musical on Broadway On Demand, where all productions will live. And Broadway On Demand has already told us they are super stoked to push this event. Family viewing tickets are $20, and then there's a $4.95 processing fee. So that means 100% of the ticket revenue goes back to your theater. So for every ticket sold, you will receive $20. Your show is then available on all devices, computers, and streaming services, including Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire. And the best part about this, your theater will receive 16 passes so that your kids can then watch the other productions. And I need to go back to one quick talking point. Once we have our opening night event where we showcase your show then lives on demand on Broadway On Demand. So you can then, over that period of time, or an extended period of time, keep sending that link out so that grandma can keep watching that show.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Remember, if you have questions, we've got folks monitoring the Facebook feeds for any questions. And please feel free, if you're with us right now on Zoom, please feel free to use the question module at the bottom navigation, and we'll make sure that we answer any questions that you might have that come up during this presentation. Scott's going to go ahead and go through the timeline.
Yeah. So far I'm in. This sounds great. So right now we're in part number 1, which is the enrollment period, which is from today through March 26th. And then after that, as on April 5th, we're going to attend a kickoff workshop. So all of the theaters presenting will come together. We'll talk through the basics and sort of, start creating this national theater community. April 6th to the 30th, you as a presenting theater will hold auditions. You'll cast your show. You'll decide on the music each of your all-stars is going to sing, the number that each of them will be assigned, and you'll rehearse. Then step 4, April 20th, is the virtual cast meet and greet welcome party, which is when all of the cast from all of these productions around the country come together and meet each other for the first time. And we'll talk about who's singing what song. We'll see who has what in common, who's looking to go to school where. It's going to be a really great virtual community event. On April 24th, you will attend a production and marketing workshop led by Julie Nemitz. April 30th to May the 4th, you will record the performers in your theater space under whatever COVID guidelines work best in your particular theater or state. Then from May 8th and 9th, you're going to submit the raw recording footage. That comes directly to us, which we will then send off and have rendered into the final form. For June 5th to the 7th, you will get to approve the final cut of your production. Then June 17th to 26th, you get to sit back and enjoy the whole festival production of Roar the Musical all across America. And finally, number 10, on June 26th, after the production closes, as Chris said, these shows will live on demand. So you can continue to sell that link as long as you would like. But also, we're going to have a special closing night show called The Roaring 20, which will actually feature 20 highlighted moments from throughout the entire festival. And one thing I also want to point out to you is this particular part is the digital part. But if you are part of this program, so you're going to get 22 songs, you're going to pick up to 14 of them to perform so that every musical will be slightly different. But after this period is over, you will have the recurring rights to do your own fully staged live production of Roar the Musical, including all 22 songs. So you can do the digital presentation now in June for this festival. And then sometime within the next year, if you would like to mount a live production with the same stars or with adult all-stars or a mix, whatever you want, that is available to you as well.
Whoa, my favorite slide. All right, everybody take a deep breath. Okay, thank you, Scott. That timeline is pretty succinct, but it's also achievable because we've got an amazing team to support this project and to make sure that we are providing and creating the utmost professional content for your organization. So let's really quickly review. Today, you've learned about this project. We're so excited about it. We hope you are too. We've had a lot of conversations over the last few days on Zoom with theaters all over the country, helping them work through how they can make this happen for their community. Let's talk about how your theater can be a part of it. This is what our virtual playbill looks like. This is what it will look like with your theater and your theater's tagline created for a virtual playbill that we will produce for your organization to support your unique production of Roar the Musical. What's included? I will not read all of this because we've been through it, but you can get a sense of all of the different areas and all the different components to this program that's included. Everything from virtual community events to actual support in helping you rehearse and get the music and help cast your show should you need that, all the way through all the done for you services we've gone through, which includes post-production editing, post-production rendering. We work with Broadway On Demand. We set everything up for you. We do all the marketing for you. You just simply need to run it. And your show is now a part of this incredible festival on Broadway On Demand. We have a one-time enrollment fee that we're asking of our theaters to do to support this project. And that basically covers everything from the music that we are having arranged, that includes the musicians that are recording all of your professional, Broadway level recordings of our arrangements. And it goes all the way through all of those marketing materials, everything that we're doing for you including the editing. And that enrollment fee is not $4,800. We brought it down to $4,400 for our ACT partners. And so when you're using the code ACTROAR, when you register for this, you get a $400 discount because you're a part of ACT. Now, when we went through and we actually looked at the valuation of this project, it was easily nearly $10,000 worth of services if you did it alone. If you hired a professional production studio to do all your post-production, if you worked directly with Broadway On Demand and paid all those service fees, we're covering all of that for you. It's an almost $10,000 program that we've been able, because of the partnership and because the Broadway stars and all the folks want to really work with us and they want to support this project. We've been so grateful to get so many great folks on board on our team to help bring this project to life. The ways that you as a theater can make revenue back with this program is obviously, number one is ticket sales. Every community has a different experience with how they manage ticket sales, but with this program, 100% of the ticket revenue that's made goes back to your organization. We do not take any money out of your ticketing. You have sponsorship sales opportunity. You have underwriting by theater angels that you might have in your community that would be willing to help support this with a financial donation. There are local city and state arts organizations with spot grants. We're working with one theater right now that's what they want to do. They're going to their arts council and they're going to get a spot grant to be able to help support this project. Partnering with city, county, state, school drama departments. Obviously, that's going to be a big part as a community theater that you get to bring those diverse schools back into your theater and bring them up to speed on how they can also participate in this program. You can enroll today as an option. This is a link, I'll put it in the chat as well, that you can enroll in the program. You can also, we're scoped for this project to have up to 50 theaters participate. So we're looking for about 50 theaters, and this is the third time we've done this presentation. So we're very busy talking with a lot of folks, but we obviously would love to have as many ACT member theaters participate, because we really feel this is going to be an incredible opportunity for you to nurture those youth all-stars in your community. Scott, did you want to do some final thoughts?
I do. I have just a couple of final thoughts, and I think there are a couple of questions that have come in that we can answer really quickly. First of all of these musicals, we say choose up to 14. We recommend up to 14 cast members. That's just to keep the timing of the shows down to about 16 numbers total, because we'll have an opening number and a closing number. The opening number and the closing number will feature all of the kids from all 50 productions. They will each record themselves singing these songs. They will be edited together so that the opening number and the closing number is a national opening number for each production. Adrian asked a great question. Is there a narration story script that connects the songs? It's a musical review. So this is, think like And the World Goes Round or Closer Than Ever or Side by Sondheim, something like that. It's a series of songs that share a theme that are presented together. But each production is going to have its own Broadway star hosting the event, welcoming you to the show. And then throughout the show, we'll stop in and provide commentary about what was happening at the time, something about a specific song. So each theater's production will have its own storytelling arc that's created around the songs that you pick for your production. So it's not a set script, but it will be something that will be created to enhance the songs that you've chosen. And then Adrian also asked, are these all solo songs, or are there any small group pieces? You can do whatever you want. They're being arranged as to be solo pieces, but they can easily be adaptable to be group numbers. So it's really whatever works best for your particular theater.
We do have a final question from Lindsay asking if we have a list of theaters already signed up so that we know of others in the area. Julie, do you want to take that question?
Sure. You know, I don't like to reveal who we're in final conversations with. The best thing for you guys to do, I actually am just putting into, I put into the chat the link to the page where you can learn more about the project and sign up if you'd like. But more importantly, what we're finding was working really well is just setting up some time to have a conversation with you. And we've been on Zoom night and day the last couple of days talking with theaters to really help you guys walk through it and see how you can actualize the project. And the easiest way to have that happen is for you to email me and we'll set up a session. So to answer your question, we don't have the theaters ready that we're able to announce because we haven't signed the paperwork, but we're happy to have that conversation with you on a separate Zoom call. And I just put my email address into the chat. It's julie@creativescoringdigital.com.
All right, and then the other question is Scott or Chris, are you okay with maybe putting your email in there as well, in case folks want to directly address you?
Sure.
I know you will also have additional info sessions, so if folks are just glancing through and they have more questions, feel free to reach out to Julie, Scott, or Chris. Or if you feel like you need another go, you need to invite board members, you know, get your team together and maybe have another informational session. I know that there's more going on, correct?
There
And they can sign
are.
up. Yeah, if you go to the website, you'll be able to sign up for more if you want to bring more folks along to kind of help you digest. That is also available to you. So does any of our attendees have any more questions? Okay.
I just want to make sure we answered all the
Yeah.
Anthony, I think we answered the cost. Adrian, we got to both of your questions. Oh, great. Adrian just said she emailed me to set up a room. So that's fantastic. I look forward to talking with you, Adrian. Lindsay, oh, you already asked that question. I think we made it through the questions. Fabulous. Since we've done this a few times, we hopefully answered a lot of the questions during the presentation. And I just want to say thanks again to Quiana, Winston, Darlene, and Jill for hosting us. And we can't wait to work with ACT Theaters to make this project happen.
Well, I think it sounds like a fantastic idea, wonderful opportunity. And I'm looking forward to kind of seeing, you know, it all come together. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to these folks. And Chris, Scott, any other notes before we head out? All right, well, I just want to thank you guys for coming and sharing this opportunity. And thank you for the discount that you're providing to our members. That's fantastic.
Oh, I forgot one thing, Quiana.
Oh,
For those that are still live, if you signed up for the Zoom session, I've created a thank you gift for you, and that is a digital sponsorship toolkit where it helps you understand with a webinar as well as a couple of documents that you can use to really think about how you can make digital sponsorships work for your theater. So I'm looking forward to send that to those that registered for the webinar, and I'll send that to you through email.
let's see. Is that me? Okay, I thought I had a glitch. Well, that's perfect. And we, you know, our community theaters, our members love it when, you know, there's projects and opportunities that includes everything, you know, because a lot of us are working on an all volunteer basis, and to have that toolkit, that step-by-step, that ABC 1, 2, 3 really makes an impact. And we really appreciate the work that you put into it to make this a wonderful event for everybody involved. So I hope everybody had a wonderful time. And if you have any questions, you know where to find us. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.